there yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as...
Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my God, the ball is gonna take this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have some more Round 1 Winners Bracket action from the IPL Season 2, and we have a great game for you guys. This is going to be between Imba Strelok, or Imba FXO Strelok, and Rain KiWiKaKi. Yes, KiWiKaKi is no longer a member of Root. The map is going to be Zelnaga Caverns. KiWiKaKi spawning as our yellow Protoss in the bottom position, and Strelok spawning as our blue Terran in the top position. So this new team has formed. The team is called Rain, KiWiKaKi, Spades, I believe Slush.
Yeah, Faith. And Phoenix Wera as well. So,
okay, so they got a pretty good squad, and they are actually going to be based here near our local offices in San Francisco.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, you guys are probably watching this a few weeks after this is casted as well, so we're not really sure what the development will be whenever this cast does actually hit. But
that's what we know right now.
Yeah, at the time of the cast, this did just recently happen. Big shakeup. About half the players went to Rain, about half the players went to Complexity. So we'll see what they do. Looks like KiWiKaKi actually opening Assimilator first. That's his opening of choice. Strelok just going to drop down that barracks. And want to let you guys know as well that this is Cat's Pajamas here with Paying User, and hope you guys have been enjoying all the content because it has been a pleasure casting these games.
Yeah, I'm so excited to finally be casting the official IPL 2 event. We've been doing so many qualifier games. Now it is time for the real deal, and I hope you guys are as excited as we are, especially for this matchup. And back to the whole hubbub about the Root Rain thing. You know, Complexity already had members, and the Root team was relatively large, bringing on the entire team, and I'm sure all the players had different demands. So it's really difficult for an organization to bring on that many players and keep everyone happy. So I feel like it was only natural that certain players went different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. It was going to happen. Otherwise, Complexity was going to have to cut a bunch of people. And that may, who knows, maybe by the time that this has gone out, that has happened. But as of, June 16th, it is not. So let's see here. It looks like Strelok is going to drop down that telltale wall there at the front with the supply depots. Loves throwing a bunker in there or throws down a supply depot if he's feeling a little bit more randy. Does have a tech lab coming up now on that barracks to start. KiWiKaKi, on the other hand, does have his cybernetics core.
I don't understand why every player does not do this. I started doing this every time I played TVP. It is so essential. That early game pressure from a Protoss, you get that nice arc, and players who use the barracks to block in between those two supply depots, I don't really understand that either. The butt end of the barracks, or the end that's facing into your main, ends up pushing all of your units out of such a key position when you can hold that really nice arc at the top of the ramp. And just having those supply depots can serve so many purposes. You can put them up if you see a shadow running up your ramp. You can put them up if you see some wayward zealots trying to sneak up your ramp. I mean, it just serves so many purposes. And here we have a Reaper heading out for Strelok. He's going to try and get some early scouting info. And if you notice, KiWiKaKi, one of those amazing Protoss players that also does the same thing with his base. He has his cybernetics core blocking off the back. He has the pylon and the gateway blocking off between the assimilator, and the two pylons blocking on the other side.
It comes down to you have to put your buildings down somewhere. I know that sounds stupid, but a lot of people will just sit there and
they just throw them
down.
Throw
their buildings down. Okay, well, I need a gateway. Let's just put a gateway down. You know, I need a cybernetics core. Let's put it down. KiWiKaKi, the kind of player who's going to sit there and actually make those worth his time. Put them somewhere where they're useful. Looks like this Reaper is going to be driven off. Not going to be able to get any kills or anything like that. And here we go. It just makes drops that much less effective. It gives them that much more mobility as pylons in the back so we can warp units back there. If you're going to do something with your structures, you might as well put them in a useful spot.
Yeah, absolutely. You should really critically think about everywhere you're putting every structure. Not only buildings that you're using to wall, buildings that don't really serve a purpose, but your production facilities as well. It's important to have your production streamlined. You don't want units popping out in between barracks. You don't want units popping out in between factories. It's actually really important. And here Strelok has a relatively logical setup here. His units are going to stream out towards the front. He's adding he's adding a factory now. Okay, so he is going to do a 3 racks build. Is that dual reactors we have out of him? So I actually love this. Probably going to look to hit some sort of a timing window before before the Colossus are out. And wow, Strelok dropping 2 bunkers. Really worried about some aggressive 3-gate action here, and I cannot blame him. You can't be safe enough. I've lost so many games to aggressive 3-gate pressure. You don't know exactly when it's going to come. And honestly, 3-gate pressure can hit you a lot harder than you would think. Even preemptively pulling some SCVs here. Very, very worried about some early game pressure from KiWiKaKi.
And this is exactly the second when the 3-gate pressure would be coming up if KiWiKaKi was going to pressure and then expand behind that. But he did decide to allocate the resources into an expansion before, so no huge warpins of units or anything like that. This Reaper's going to try and make its way back in, but there's enough units here that it's going to be pushed away. Not much it can do. Let's see here. Actually, we'll be able to jump into the bottom and then immediately be picked off by a couple of sentries. So back up here on Strelok's side of things, he does have another reactor coming up. He will switch that onto the starport and just go mass Marines from there on out. He does have combat shield coming up as well. He is expanding, and he should be able to take away those bunkers pretty soon, as he should know by now that no really, really aggressive gateway pushes are coming. And
Strelok is just such a smart player, just waiting until he feels absolutely comfortable to move out on the map and take that natural expansion. Xel'Naga Cavern's one of those maps where it's very, very difficult to take an aggressive natural, especially in TVP, which is one of my favorite matchups. I love this matchup. There's so many little nuances that just make it so exciting. And here we have an observer coming out of KiWiKaKi, going to head across the map and try and figure out exactly what Strelok is up to. Strelok has a makeshift observer of his own, has a factory floating over to KiWiKaKi's side of the base. Actually looks like he's checking for some proxy pylons right now with the factory, not sending that directly across.
I've always had this weird little image, though, of like you have like a Protoss salesman. He's like selling the observer. It is sleek. It is new. It is awesome. And then you get over to the Terran factory. He's like, it's cheap, and they're just like, it's factory.
It's huge. Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. It's just huge. But the factory has those jumbo jets as well. They don't move very fast though.
No, not at all. 0.94 movement speed. That's depressing.
But they can act as a forceful scout. It's like if there's a specific territory that you need to see, you can make that happen.
You just barrel it in there.
Exactly. You can make that happen, but at the cost of a factory. And it looks like Strelok is actually going to try and do a little bit of pressure here. He has a ton of Marines with combat shield. Forces a stim, and KiWiKaKi gonna just, oh man, beautiful force fields from KiWiKaKi on both occasions.
Ooh,
gonna
Strelok,
elevate all of his Marines up to the high ground. I don't know if this is exactly where he wants to fight. I think KiWiKaKi is gonna be able to hold this off, but at what cost?
He's losing a lot of these sentries. These high energy sentries are falling all over the place, and the last of the zealots are down as well. Some zealots do warp in on the low ground, but all of those
Marines
sentries
getting
fell.
trapped in that little corridor right there, unable to move. But Strelok, and this goes back to what I said in previous series. It's when you're going to do an early timing push before, I even said it earlier on in this game, when you're going to do an early timing push before Colossus come out, Marines are so much more effective than Marauders, and Strelok going with the dual reactor setup, just able to pump out so many Marines. And look, he has reinforcement Marines on the way in now. So you can even ward off this many Stalkers, and wow, KiWiKaKi already has Blink so early on. He's going to be able to use these Stalkers as a forward scout, and also just to blink around those Marines.
Yeah, but this is really, really cool out of Strelok, though. He has a highly mobile army. He's going to be able to pick off a couple more of these Stalkers as well. Blink is now ready. KiWiKaKi does manage to get himself away, but Strelok is really forcing engagements on his terms as well. He pushed him before, and you would have thought KiWiKaKi, nice force fields here. Forces the stim Marines around. Nice force fields here. You would have thought that Strelok would have been done. We even said at first that this probably wasn't the best choice of engagements, but Strelok was still dictating things to his terms. He wanted KiWiKaKi to force his style of play, and he got in there and killed all those super high energy sentries. And as those sentries become more valuable over time, that is a really critical amount of damage done. KiWiKaKi is going to have Colossi up though, but it looks like that Strelok may be able to get in once again before those Colossi come up.
Yeah, it looks like he will indeed. He has quite a squad of Marines right here. Maybe going to stim in once more. Looks like he's going to wait for a little bit more reinforcements here, but Marines are actually great against Stalkers. They are so effective, but we do have a Colossus out on the field now, and that is going to make things very difficult for Strelok. Strelok spreading out his units beautifully right there. Gonna be able to take out so many Stalkers here. Just absolutely wrecking right now. Gonna maybe kill this Colossus. No, it looks like the Colossus. Oh my goodness.
Oh, down to 17.
Oh my god. So Strelok does kill that one Colossus. So important at this stage in the game. That is the first Colossus. And with Protoss, you want to continually build up units throughout the game. You want to build on that central squad. And Strelok has killed all of those high-value units. So many Stalkers going down, Colossus going down. Keep in mind, he is trading off Marines right now.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, what is the cost? What, 350, 250 or something like the 300, 200, I'm sorry, for a Colossus. So that's the equivalent resource cost of 6 plus 4, 10 Marines. 10 Marines. And certainly Strelok was trading more cost-effective at that with the amount of Stalkers he killed as well. So Strelok has been in control this entire game. He's forcing engagements on his terms. He's outproducing his opponent. He's out macroing his opponent. KiWiKaKi, even though he was playing intelligently at the early part of the game, he is just falling prey to this super mobile army out of Strelok. This is just fun to watch. This has been a fun game as a spectator.
I just love the new style with the heavy Marines. Strelok looking so sharp right now. This is just really impressive, and I think he's totally catching KiWiKaKi off guard with this new style of play. The early Marines, the early combat shield, it's just absolutely throwing him off his game. He's used to just building up that gateway army, slowly transitioning into Colossus, and honestly, to deal with this, you're probably going to need much quicker Colossus, and I don't think he knew that it was coming, and now he's going to be pressured at two places at once. We have a drop going on at the main, we have pressure coming in at the third, and this pressure at the third and the drop at the main is going to force KiWiKaKi into a situation where he's not going to be mining for quite some time, and he's going to be forced to pull back here. Strelok just delaying with this attack, essentially.
And KiWiKaKi wasn't actually targeting those Vikings for so long, so they got a kill almost for free. Strelok does back away, but look at these Marines cleaning up all of these Stalkers that are sitting over at the main, and it looks like Strelok may even be able to go ahead and take down this Nexus down into its health now. Looks like Strelok is going to be forced to stim once again to be able to take out these Stalkers. Is not quite going to do so. Oh, actually does manage to get one. Two! Wow, we got a second Stalker kill there as well. So KiWiKaKi not watching his control maybe as well as he should. Strelok going to pick this moment to move right back in, knowing that that Colossus was quite far away.
KiWiKaKi certainly making a game of it, though. He is game, and he does not have any sentries for force fields. As we were both saying earlier, those sentries going down, and that is really making a huge difference in this battle. It's allowing Strelok to maneuver around, pick off the Colossus. He's also able to pick off several of these Stalkers here, and oh my god, Stalker versus Marauder.
That was really, really smart there out of Strelok, and maybe a little bit of a micro blunder out of KiWiKaKi as well. KiWiKaKi had all of his Zealots warping in at the front that forced Strelok away. Strelok pulled back. KiWiKaKi blunk in his units there to be able to take down those very low HP medevacs that were sitting there. As soon as he did, though, Strelok said, great, now you have all your soft Stalkers in front. I'm going to turn around and just kill them all.
Attack. And probably just went right back to his base and started to macro right there. He knew instantly that those Marauders were going to kill tons of Stalkers, and Strelok working off of the gold right now. How many Raxes do we have? Just his infrastructure absolutely set up to explode right now. 7 Raxes, and just replenishing his army so quickly. Now transitioning into that more heavy Marauder style of play. He actually did that a little bit ago, but continuing with that, and he's going to go in again on the third here, and I can't help but think that this is going to do it for KiWiKaKi. I don't think there's any way. The Colossus immediately goes down. The Zealots start to go down, and this is not looking good.
Nope, not at all. The probes are going to fall. There's only very small Stalkers left, and KiWiKaKi is forced to GG. So Strelok takes game number 1 in completely and utterly convincing fashion. What a beautiful game there out of Strelok.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was like watching somebody paint a Picasso right there. He just had absolute control over the game from start to finish. Utilized a new style of play, the super quick medevacs with just the all Marines, the early pressure style, and honestly, I feel like the early pressure couldn't have even gone worse for him. He got force fielded out after the stim. He had to work his way around, got force fielded out once again, was forced to elevator units to the high ground that were isolated and killed. and was still able to do so much damage. And this just goes back to what I was saying. Marines are so much better than Marauders in the early game. It's really the Colossus that render Marines useless towards the mid and late
But
game.
you say that now, I'm imagining Chad after this game just saying, "Oh, what? So now Marines are the counter to Colossi, derp-a-der." So, nonetheless, guys, beautiful game out of Strelok.
No,
He
not at
takes
all.
Game one. No. I understand. I agree with you. He takes game number 1, and we're going to see if KiWiKaKi can make a comeback here in game number 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a second.
Stay tuned.